February in Seattle, a city where more than 15% of the population is of Asian descent, is full of colorful events celebrating the Lunar New Year. Though this street procession looks festive, it commemorates a traumatic historic event for the Chinese community.
Laborers who had finished working on the railroads were branching out into canneries, fishing, mining, farming, and society at large saw them as a threat and wanted to get rid of them. The pressure became so great, Congress passed the 1882 Chinese Exclusion Act.
It was the first nationwide legislation to specifically prohibit a particular nationality from immigrating to the United States. The ban stretched over 2 decades, and those already in the country couldn't become citizens. In some places, discrimination was accompanied by violence.
It started with the massacre of Chinese miners in Wyoming. Then it spread to Oregon and came up to Tacoma. Their Chinatown, both of them were burned to the ground in 1885. And 6 months after that, the people of Seattle decided to do the same thing, except they rounded up whoever they could find and marched them to the waterfront.
A mob rounded up more than 300 Chinese, taking some from their homes, and put them on the steamer Queen of the Pacific for deportation. More than 130 years later, participants representing about 20 community organizations marched from Chinatown to the waterfront. Seattle Council member Tanya Wu says her family members came to Seattle in the 19th century.
My family has been here since 1887, yet I am the first generation born here in the U.S. And that is because all the females in my family were not able to immigrate here. And so families are broken up. And so I feel like this event is not just a commemoration, but a call to action that we have to stand against discrimination.
The first reported COVID-19 case in the United States appeared in January 2020, about 25 miles north of Seattle. The virus first surfaced in Wuhan, China, the month prior.
The pandemic made it worse, the then president blaming COVID-19 on Chinese. Anti-Asian hate increased several times. And so we need marches like this to remind people the exclusion and the expulsion didn't end in the 1800s. It continues today, but in more subtle forms.
March organizers stressed that the event is also an opportunity to celebrate the contributions Chinese Americans and other immigrants have made the city. Natasha, Mozgovaya, VOANews, Seattle.